Hey, welcome back to 25 Days to Slay in May. If you struggle with self-sabotage and self-destructive behavior and you want to slay in the month of May, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Angela, trauma healer and self-sabotage slayer. I help healers, soul coaches, and trauma coaches slay self-sabotage so they can embody freedom, live on their terms, and do business their way. And today we're talking about how to bounce back after you've really messed up in front of your audience. And I'm talking about maybe sabotage, failure, whatever it might be for you. Sabotage, failure, making a big mistake, maybe not providing accurate information. It could be a whole plethora of reasons of what you might feel like has you kind of stuck and makes you feel like you have a little bit of guilt or shame. And since I have you, go ahead and like and subscribe. This just helps me reach so many more people that might be struggling with self-sabotage, and I really appreciate it. Normally this is my meditation area, but today we are making it the video recording area. So this topic is actually really near and dear to my heart. And so I want to share with you a little personal story, and then we're going to get into what you can do. So, I did have a business prior to this that I absolutely sabotaged. It was thriving, and it was thriving compared to where I was at years ago. So on average, I was making like $2,000 to $4,000 a month. I was making passive income. I had a community that was growing every month. I had clients all the time. So it was really in a good space. But I did not feel good enough. And I was also in a very unhealthy relationship that I want to explain the breakthroughs that I've just had recently, but I don't know how to yet explain them. So we'll leave that off topic for now. And this caused me to then completely sabotage my business and claim that all of it was for alignment. And at the time, it really was for alignment. It really was not feeling good for me. It really was the right move. And now that I'm in a much different place and a much more anchored space into my service again, I can see that the sabotage very much was a blessing in disguise. However, I did all of this in front of an audience. I destroyed my business in front of an audience. I made huge mistakes in front of an audience. And I completely sabotaged my personal life and my professional life in front of what feels like everybody, even though it's not everybody, but it did feel like that. And for me, there was a lot of shame and guilt involved with that. And I felt like I wasn't going to be able to bounce back. But my wonderful clients and my wonderful audience, they were just so supportive and so wonderful to me that I'm glad that I eventually opened up about what was going on and sharing these very vulnerable moments of what I was doing and how things transpired and what was really going on. And I just didn't understand at the time that I really was sabotaging, and I didn't know until much later on. But I want you to know that, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you are struggling with sabotage or failure or making a mistake in front of your audience, it is hard to fess up, I guess you can say, but that vulnerability does create connection, and your clients and your real people, the people that are meant to be in your community and be with you, be in your energy, they will support you. They will feel happy that you opened up about this and that you shared this, and that you will start to realize there's so much more connection with this. So I know that that's much easier said than done. I 100% know that, but I want you to know that it is possible for you to share that with your audience and be able to bounce back. And if you don't know if you can go into my group and share in this safe and sacred container where other women have also been dealing with sabotage and they're bouncing back from it. So, but just because I'm telling you to share that, and you may not be in that space right now, and that's completely okay. How do you bounce back? Like, how do you really bounce back after you've messed up like that in front of an audience? I gotta get real comfortable. My hips are starting to hurt. Okay. What do? First and foremost, you want to come into acceptance that you have sabotaged yourself, that you have potentially put your business into failure, like I did. So you want to very much come into acceptance. And this might be a lot harder said than done, but it is about radical acceptance. It is about radical responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about going into the rabbit hole to try to fix everything. I'm talking about you coming into reality, or coming into acceptance of what your reality is and what happened and how you played a part. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to let go of the fact that you have sabotaged. Now, I'm not saying don't learn from your mistakes. I'm not saying don't continue to connect the dots and see where things played out. What I am telling you is that beating yourself up because you've sabotaged, or because you've failed, or because you've made a mistake that's really big in front of your audience, it doesn't help the situation. In fact, it only grows the sabotage. It only grows the shame and the guilt and the other emotions that go along with that. So if you are beating yourself up and you're constantly staying stuck on your failure, all that's doing is just creating more turmoil in your life. And so you want to make sure that you let go of that. And again, these are easier said than done, and I totally understand that. The letting go part of it was the biggest struggle for me, because I wanted to hold on to it so that I could remember I had messed up this bad. But the thing is that when that happens, it completely keeps you stuck, because you're in scarcity, because you're in fear of, what if I do this again? The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you are truly resting and reconnecting with yourself and giving to yourself. Part of the reason why we sabotage is because we are not connected with who we really are. We're not connected within our body. We're not fully present with ourselves. When you're semi-connected with yourself and you turn that off, like in my case, to be in a relationship, now we're focused on survival. And that means that you're not going to be safe in your body. And then that means that you're not connected to yourself to begin with. So that means that your focus at that point in time is to rest and reconnect with yourself. Rest, reconnect, and come into safety, right? That's what that rest and reconnection does. When you're resting, it allows you to kind of restart. It allows you to get the rest that you need, rather than staying in this place where you feel like you always have to do, which is not really giving you the answers or the solutions that you're truly looking for. The reason why you want to reconnect with yourself is because you probably have not been connected to yourself for a while. And reconnecting with yourself allows you to learn what those hell yes and those hell no's are in your body. Allows you to be connected to your emotions and allow yourself to feel and be authentically who you are. And this allows you to kind of restart that inspiration and that connection to your audience as well. And the last thing that you want to do is you want to allow yourself to feel all of the emotions that come along with this. And this is why the rest and reconnection to yourself came first, because if you're not connected to yourself and you're not resting, your emotions will eventually be avoided and escaped, because it's easier to deal with it like that, even though we all know that that's not true. But if you don't allow yourself to feel the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment that may potentially be involved with sabotage and failure, hey buddy, you're actually going to end up sabotaging again. Okay, no thank you. Okay. You're going to end up sabotaging again, and it is because you're repressing your emotions. You're not allowing yourself to be authentically you. You're not allowing a safe space for you to feel all of your emotions, which then leads to rejection and abandonment, which is what you experienced as a child to begin with. And so we don't want to recreate those atmospheres, because that creates sabotage. So the more that you allow yourself to feel all the emotions that are associated with sabotage, the less likely you are to sabotage. But you want to make sure that you're allowing yourself to feel all these emotions. And I know that that can be so hard because shame's a really nasty feeling to feel, right? I mean, it's just yucky. So, sounded like a kid right there. So you've got to feel all of your emotions so that you can bounce back from sabotage. And then of course, once you feel comfortable and safe, you start to share these things with your audience so that they can learn from your mistakes, so that they can see that you're growing and that you're expanding. And then that way you're actually creating this vulnerability and this connection and creating visibility like I talked about yesterday, which is a very beautiful thing. But again, this all comes back to safety and healing so that you can make sure that you have a safe space to do this. If you are struggling with sabotage, you are probably also struggling with doubt. So make sure that you check out that masterclass. It's 7 steps to slay doubt. Like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.